Okay, hi everyone. Thanks for stopping by the channel. I thought I would just give you an update of what I'm working with on a day-to-day basis now in terms of my planner. I used to be in a ZenCraft A6 sized traveler's notebook, which I really loved. I loved to journal in it, decorate it, carry it around with me. It was a great size. However, with the new year, it was getting really busy, and I found myself needing some more structure and more flexibility with my planning system. So I went with a ring-based system and was dabbling in the Filofax Malden and Ochre for a while, which I really loved. It was a great intro. But then I was looking for, I guess, higher quality leathers in terms of the planner. So I came across a company called Gillio, which has a huge loyal fan base, essentially. It's a European, I guess a European company. So it's kind of hard to get your hands on a planner over, over in the States. But was able to secure, or actually, pick up a Compagna Gold, which is what I was looking for, off of the Facebook group, the Gillio Marketplace. So I was pretty happy. I'm really into these camel, goldish, tannish kind of colors. So when it arrived, I was really happy with the color. It was absolutely gorgeous. So I thought what I'd do is I'd give you guys a glimpse of what my setup looks like right now in the rings. And you've seen what my setup looks like in the Traveler's Notebook. It's pretty different, but I'm really enjoying it. And before we get into that, I just wanted to share this this little fun addition to my collection. I have a somewhat of a watch collection, and I'm a big fan of Fossil watches and Fossil products. And this is a watch from the Watch Bar. Essentially, it is a boyfriend chronograph watch face with this really lovely, really nice camel colored, espresso colored strap. It feels so nice in the hand, and it looks really great. It looks really pretty. And I wanted to share this because, for one thing, it actually matched my Compagna really nicely. But for another thing, it commemorates a pretty big event in our lives here. It's the birth of our son, our first child, Henry, who was born on the 9th of February, and I have here inscribed his name and the date and the time. So I thought that was really nice, so I wanted to share that. And how much it, how happy I was that it kind of went with the Compagna really well. But anyway, going right into this, let me see if I can focus here. I'm using the leather flyleaf, and I know some people don't like to use it because of this kind of, I guess, defect that the zipper, when you have it here, when you have the flyleaf in, can mark up the flyleaf, unfortunately, which is the reason why I have this postcard here. So this postcard was essentially given to me by my husband when we were living essentially across the country from another. So he was living in the Bay Area, I was living in Maryland, so literally across the country from one another. But I have this postcard here to kind of block that zipper from marking up the flyleaf. I don't keep really anything in the pockets. I think this pocket's kind of awkward. I didn't like that, things popped up in kind of like a weird way in this pocket, so I don't really use it. And in the zipper pocket, I don't really use that either. I just, right now, the only thing that you'll see in here is just pen refills for a uni style fit, which I don't even use with this planner. Honestly, I mean, I used to use that pen, but moved on to something different. This secretarial pocket just carries some stamps, and let's go to the top pocket here. Top pocket contains some calendar stickers, so essentially stickers that mark off my days off, my remote days, my doctor's appointments, and such. So you'll see how I use that in my calendar section. Flipping over the flyleaf, I have here somewhat of a dashboard that has my online handle, and then here's just a picture of my son holding my finger. He was born premature, so he's pretty small, but has a strong grip. So that was something nice to have. My dividers, wanted to mention that I made out of the like black plastic file folders that you get from the dollar store, because they're very sturdy. I have this somewhat of an asymmetrical design, which I really like because it kind of makes it look pretty professional, I think. And I made these low profile because the Compagnas have some of a reputation of potentially damaging your dividers if they have a large tab. So my tabs are pretty low profile, so they don't hit up against the pen or the pen loop or anything like that. So no issues there. But that's something to keep an eye out for if you're interested in the Compagna. So my first section here is essentially my trackers. So I have here grid paper that I kind of make these different formats in the spirit of bullet journaling. So I kept track of my glucose during my pregnancy, kid counts, my weight during my pregnancy. Here's a breast pumping log. And then I keep track of how much I was feeding my son. I have here reviews of my husband's dishes, so basically kind of what the dish was, how much it cost us, and of course always 5 stars because I love his cooking. And then I have here notes about what the meal was. I have restaurant reviews, kind of like in the same fashion. I have bills and expenses and kind of mark down what actual bills cost me. A savings tracker, a bill payment tracker, some important numbers, my debt tracker, and just blocking off those numbers, and then when I last did something, so like when I last did a service on my car or something like that, so just keep track of those things. The next section is all notes, so I start out with just Rhodia grid paper, which I really love. It's really smooth, very high quality. And then I have here some dot grid paper, so basically I just cut them down and hole punched them. I love dot grid paper. It's really nice because the dots are really unobtrusive, really nice to write on. The next tab is it's essentially my daily section. So basically I work in kind of like a modified bullet journaling, I guess, format. So it's essentially a to-do list, and anything that I don't finish I migrate to the next day. So you'll see here, let's see if I can zoom in. Have the date, have what I need to do, and if I finished it, check. If I didn't, move it over, and you'll see I move whatever I didn't complete to the next day. So that just keeps me honest, keeps me on track, make sure that I finish what I need to finish. And then I have here a today marker which holds a year at a glance, and it marks the day, that I'm actually currently on, so that works out nicely. The next section is essentially a section where I can just doodle and also practice my handwriting. This is Tomo River paper, and I'm sure you all are familiar with this. This is really nice thin paper that's used for, that's really fountain pen friendly, and it's pretty thin. So what I do is I put on what I've done is I've laminated a grid sheet here, and I put it behind this Tomo River paper so I could have some grid lines to work with when I'm practicing my handwriting. So that's that. And then the last section is my calendar section. So to start off with, I have a fold out, it's a year at a glance kind of thing. It marks down like holidays and then kind of like when I'm on leave and my husband's on leave. And then I have here on the back of it, payroll, holidays, when PTO is accrued, that kind of stuff. And it folds out, and it also comes out because it, I washed it and also cut a little slit there. I use the DIY fish inserts, and it's kind of modified actually. I use her monthly tracker, and I use her her month on, I guess, one page. It's like a fold out, and you see here this is where I use my stickers to mark down those days off or remote days. So I only use those because I use those stickers because I use them a lot. So, and honestly, as you can see, I don't really decorate. I mean, this is a functional planner. I am a functional planning type of person. So even though, like, you know, I like to see things like decorated, I don't really, because I just really need to just organize myself. And when I say that this is kind of modified, I'll show you. I use a week on 2 pages that I've actually made myself. So this is a basically Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and just a note section. So that's pretty much it. It's very clean. I like the way it's set up. I don't like any other crazy boxes or anything like that. Don't really need it. So I just made it myself. And that's where learning how to use Photoshop or Pixelmator or any other photo editing or Illustrator program is a great skill to have. So I have about 4 months worth of planner of the calendar inserts here, and I just mark the top with these little tabs so I can get to them really quickly. And I was thinking about putting the months down, but you know, I want to reuse these. I like the way they look, so I probably won't do that. It doesn't really matter. Finally, in the back I have just a top-loading envelope that holds checks, receipts, anything else I need to hold. And in the back here, sorry about the focus, don't really use the back card slots because I want to make sure that I have a stable writing surface, and just have some prescriptions and a check back there to deposit. And finally, to discuss the pen, I use a Pilot Vanishing point. This is a gunmetal and this is an extra fine. It's pretty fine. Which it can be kind of scratchy, but I love the really thin lines. I'm a really big fan of Pilot G2.5, and this is very, very close to that line. So I've had kind of mixed experiences with extra fine nibs out of the Vanishing point. This one that I got actually is pretty smooth, so I'm pretty happy with it. I'm sticking with it. And it took me a little time to massage this this Vanishing point into this pen loop. This is an elastic pen loop, but it fits mostly like thinner pens, but luckily I've been able to kind of work my Vanishing point in there. Anyway, that's that. That's my Gillio Compagna in gold, and that's my setup. Pretty simple. It doesn't have a lot of decoration, not a lot of frills, not a lot of fancy things, but it works for me. I'm pretty happy with it, and it's my daily notebook. So if you have any questions, just go ahead and leave me a message in the comments. I have some other videos coming up soon on my channel, so I'm excited to share with you what I have going on. Well, I just wanted to thank you for stopping by and watching this video. Thanks, guys.